Hey everybody, Dr. Scott Keller coming at you from my office this time at Synergy Chiropractic down on 56th and Pine Lake. My colleague, Dr. Brad Hochstein, is going to help me out for a second. This month we're dedicating to shoulder mobility. Obviously, most of you guys know with what we do day in and day out, you got to have mobile shoulders in order to be successful, not injure yourself, and just hit some PRs. So last month we talked about the thoracic spine and how extension is so important, and I kept mentioning to you guys how basically the shoulder and the thoracic spine are basically one unit. So keep doing the foam rolling and lacrosse ball work on the thoracic spine, and this week we're going to hit the pec group. So the pec major minor kind of in the front of the shoulder. Just to show you here from the back here, so stand facing that way. The position of the scapula is vital in proper shoulder function and health. So most of us are going to be what we call elevated and rolled forward and anteriorly tilted. So do that with both shoulder blades. That's kind of the posture that most of us are in because we sit all day or just from that bad habit. It puts our shoulders in a horrible position. You're just setting yourself up for injury. From a side view, let's show them what that looks like. So bad position here is forward, anteriorly rotated, and rolled forward. So it puts a lot of pressure on the rotator cuff, the labrum of the shoulder, etc. Proper position is going to be kind of in a down and back, what we call more of a depressed position. It's not squeezing your shoulder blades together, but the shoulder blade should go kind of down at an angle like that. So that opens up the front part of this shoulder for proper movement. So show them from the back, kind of go back in the bad position, okay? And now what we want to do is come down in this depressed position, okay? So that's proper position of the scapula. Okay, thank you very much. As he kind of gets out of the way here, you can, whatever, but one of the structures, and by no means is it the only one, the pec major and minor attach in such a way to the shoulder that they will contribute to this forward rounding of the shoulder. So we're going to do two simple things today that most of you guys probably are at least familiar with, and talk about a couple techniques with them. The first thing, you're going to grab a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, whatever you have, okay? And the first thing you can do is just a simple release of that pec group. So what I like to do is put my arm right behind my back. You're going to lean up against the wall here with the ball right in the soft tissue area. Now the biggest mistake I see with this one, guys, is people will get in this position and their shoulders blade is in a horrible position like this. We really want to get that shoulder blade open down and back like I just described while we're doing this little release work, okay? So it's not complicated. Just get in there, roll around, find those tight spots. If you find a little knot or adhesion or something, spend 20 to 30 seconds working it out until you kind of feel it melt away a little bit, all right? The second thing, if you have in the gym, you guys aren't going to be able to do this at the gym, but I wanted to throw this one in there because it can be very effective. If you have something at home that's about a foot long, a yoga block or something like that, if you put that up against the wall, put that tennis ball or lacrosse ball right on it here, put it in the same position, sink into it a little bit, okay? And then what you're going to do is hold your arm up at about 90 degrees and then internally rotate to your comfort level and then externally rotate. And so basically we're pinning that pec muscle and then we're kind of giving it an internal external rotation stretch there. So you might feel like that kind of releases that pec major minor a little bit more. All right, so what I want you to do at the gym before your workout is just the one up against the wall, making sure that shoulder blade is in a back position, okay? What we're going to do from there, so we're going to release it with the lacrosse ball first, just for a minute or so on each side, okay? Then we're going to go right into the pec stretch, okay? And most of you guys have done this one before. So up against one of the bars, what I want you to do is a 3-angle pec stretch. So you're going to put your arm up at about a 35 or 45 degree angle, rest your forearm on the bar, and then just sink into it like this. Okay? A lot of people like to just hold a static stretch. That's fine. I prefer dynamic stretching anytime you can do it. So what I like to do is sink in, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then back out of it. Let that muscle relax for a second, and then do maybe about 10 repetitions of that nice and slow and controlled. Then I'm going to move my arm down to where it's perpendicular to the floor, parallel to the floor, so basically straight across. I'm going to do the same thing, about 10 repetitions of slowly gliding in and gliding out. And then the last angle, I'm going to drop it down at about a 35-degree angle, 45-degree angle, and sink in and out. All the while, make sure that scapula is set in the right position. Don't be rounding trying to stretch your pec, okay? And like a lot of the other exercises with the thoracic spine, Another thing you want to do is make sure you have your core tight. Okay, I see too many people stretching their pec and they end up in this position here, really hyperextended in their lower back. I mean, you're just not doing yourself any good. So get that core tight, set that rib cage down, open that shoulder up, and then get into the stretch. So 2 things you're doing this week. You're starting the cross ball against the wall, and then you're just going right into the pec stretch. Try to open you up through here, okay? So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Scott@synergylincoln.com. Ask one of the coaches, and good luck this week.